Hello, hello. Welcome to today's messages. Let's tune in to the gentle frequencies of the earth. Yay! I hope you are well and good. Feeling the love, sprinkling it everywhere you go. In gratitude. Who's this? What's that? It's a bee checking out a spot on the window. Okay, let's see what Spirit wants us to consider, be aware of, put our focus on, our intentions, to release, to acknowledge, to be mindful of. Okay. We've got humility and solace. Humility and solace, a 1 and a 17. So we know that humility is being humble by your awesomeness. Okay, let's Google it. There it is. Okay. I like to Google just because I want precision sometimes. So I'll look up the words to validate. Okay, the quality of having a modest and accurate view of one's own importance, free from pride and arrogance. This is the recognition of your awesomeness without turning into a tyrant, right? Rather than having low self-esteem, it is characterized by an openness to learning, an ability to admit mistakes, and a focus on others rather than the self. There you go. A humble mindset. It paves the way for personal growth, resilience, and better relationships. Okay, it's not thinking less of yourself. Grounded in reality, teachable, and caring and compassionate to your fellow, right? There's no, I'm better than you. I'm so awesome. I'm better than you. It is, I am awesome. And we can be awesome together, right? Something like that. Okay. And then solace refers to comfort, consolidation, or relief in times of distress, sadness, and worry. Finding solace from the chaos, right, of the external world. It describes a source of emotional support or a state of peace that eases a difficult mental or emotional burden. To seek solace is to seek peace, right? Find solace in your awesomeness. Okay. humility and solace. And wisdom. Beautiful. Yeah, wisdom. You are wise. You are wise. Okay. Wisdom comes with humility because you know that we all are, 4 steps away from living another person's life. I don't know what that means. But yes, this is a recognition that we are all on various stages of our pathway. So there is no, I am better than you because you were also no better than them not too long ago. Something like that, right? The various stages. I always get snakes and ladders, or I started getting snakes and ladders because it's like, you may have taken this route, right? And you look at somebody else and they're down here and you're like, ha 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 ha, you're way down there and I'm way ahead of you, right? And then they find a shortcut and now they're ahead of you, right? And you're like, oh. So you can't judge another person's progress because everybody's journey is different. It's non-linear is my point. So just because it looks like someone is further behind doesn't actually mean that they are, right? Something like that. Okay. So we're talking about your wisdom. Your wisdom to know the difference between humility and hubris. Is that the opposite of humility? Hubris is your cocky, arrogant, tyrannical, that usually leads to your own downfall, right? This is the thing. This is part of your wisdom. No matter how proficient or whatever you think you are, we all stumble, we all fall, we all fart, we all have the human things. We all gotta clean our toilets and wash our dishes, right? I guess there's people who never wash their dishes. I don't know. Dishes have become, for me, a meditation ritual. But that is because of the resilience, right? You need to, when there's stuff that you just have to do, your best bet is to find a way of making it less of a daunting task, right? Turn it into a ritual. Butterfly. Okay. I had a piece of cling on the window to kind of block my view to keep me from being so distracted. But it fell off and I haven't put it back on yet. So I can see more outside than I could yesterday. Okay, that might be something about clarity of vision, removing of blocks so that you can see better. But there's also more opportunity for distractions. Hummingbird. She's checking the cedar. Beautiful. It's Rufus. Just saw a flash of the color on the. Oh. And a chickadee. Okay, sorry. This up here isn't even part of the blocked part. And it's distracting me. Okay, so something about the birds and your focus. Yes. If things are going to pull you off your focus, make sure they are gorgeous things that are making you feel good, right? Okay. We've got your victory through and from your balance. Okay, this is the wisdom gained from your resilience. The honey badger has been there and done it. Okay, and it is because of this, because of all the things you've endured in your life. This contributes to your wisdom center, right? Experience contributes to wisdom. This has been coming up for us a lot. And this is also about recognizing that the pains of the past contribute to the peace of the future. Whoa, okay. How? How, Spirit? Well, because the wisdom that you gain, right? To know better, whether it's valuing and worthiness of self, what you will and will not tolerate, what you are deserving of, right? The kind of behaviors you will tolerate and the kinds that you will not, the types of relationships that fill you up versus the types that drain you. This is part of the process of becoming a wise one, right? This is why all the wise ones are elders, because they've had a lot of accumulated experience to develop their wisdom, right? And there was also something about it also adds to your humility, because it's the same as like knowing what it's like to go without. There is a compassion present and an appreciation when you have it, right? You remember, it reminds you of when you didn't. And so there's more of an appreciation for it. Also, others, right? When others are going through their various stages of the process of re-empowering self, an understanding of what people are going through, a mindfulness, right? I worked for a company and they made sure that they paid us at the right time, at the time that they said that they would, because the owner of the business has a very personal understanding of living paycheck to paycheck, right? Of being reliant and mindful of the money you have coming in when, and allocating of your resources, right? Whereas, somebody who's maybe never gone without, never had to live paycheck to paycheck, may be less compassionate to people who are something like that. Okay, so, and same with your heart, right? The wounds of the heart. You have to use and abuse, have your heart used and abused, to drop your heart a few times, to value it, to recognize its worth, to switch up how you hold it, carry it, and share it, right? Okay. Your resilience leading to your wisdom, okay? And this is part of your humility. The steps it took to get you to a place of peace, a recognition that you've earned your peace, okay? It's like someone who runs a marathon, you know, you earned rest after, right? Let your body, you need to hydrate, you need to rest, you need to stretch, you need to do, I don't know what you do after that. That's crazy. People who marathon. The only thing I've ever marathoned are movies and shows. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm getting a much needed solace period. Okay. What? We've got a tower coming out. Okay. This is that breakdown of the old. This is the busting out of the cocoon, right? The tearing away the old confines that no longer serve, the ripping of the shedding of the skin, right? The disruption that moves you into the next stage and phase. I also want to say, okay, well, it doesn't matter what I want to say. The Emperor coming out, all of these things has contributed to your self-mastery, to becoming one able to rule your empire, to make the sacrifices, delegate. The Emperor needs to remain humble. Otherwise, did I say the Empress? The Emperor needs to remain humble. And constantly check within, right? To ensure there's no tyrannical tendencies. They need to be wise. That's why they say the best rulers are the ones who have, well, who don't want it, first of all, because they're not motivated by the ego, by the status, by the position, right? The best emperors or leaders are the ones who have humility, are able to serve for the good of all, not just for the good of self, right? Okay. I think you guys gotta move over. There you go. What's going on here? Sorry, I have to readjust or I will be distracted. Okay. So the Emperor coming out, the big boss, okay? This could also be part of your tower, right? I feel like this is the busting out of the old way and turning into the Emperor. This is kind of like your butterfly stage. The butterfly and the caterpillar, it's such a beautiful metaphor because of what we're going through, right? The caterpillar, the on the ground struggle, right? And the freedom flowing of the butterfly and the transformation process in between. It checks all the boxes for our analogies here. This is what we're going through, right? This end of the old way. The victory after a lifetime of having to endure. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Ain't nothing gonna keep me down. I don't know how that song goes, but they get knocked down and they get up again. Okay, this is part of your process. This is part of your endurance, the great marathon of life, right? Okay. Okay. So now you're an emperor and you're moving confidently with your sword of truth, speaking as you step out as a new ruler of your life. Okay, in balance here. We've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups, which is perfect. These are the balanced embodiment features that this emperor in this space and time is utilizing, right? Focus, passion, determination, balance. We've got the masculine, feminine, the light and the shadow. We've got the portal, right? We got the keeping your eye on the prize. And then we've got the queen of flow, the creative, compassionate, heart based beer, right? The action, focused action, and the flowing beingness. This balance is everything. Okay, this is what makes a compassionate and gorgeous leader. You want one focused, passionate, and balanced, but you also need one who is being in their heart space, who is compassionate and creative, right? Finding all the courageous and courageous as well. But this is new. You're new, right? It's like first day on the job as an emperor. You're still figuring out. This is why it's important to keep your humility. Seek your advisors, right? People who have been standing beside rulers for generations, right? Being in a position of power requires. Who is that? Whoa, that's a different type of chickadee. I've never seen that before. Some weird hybrid. It was long. It was long. It had like a long tail. Weird. Okay. Chickadee. Okay. Let's see what else the cards want to say. Yes, but the solace, right? Finding your peace. Balancing your peace with your passion. This is the new way. This is the wisdom that you gained, your ebb and your flow, when to move forward and when to recede, pull back. Okay. What's this? You gotta know when to hold on. We've got the past and the transformation. Okay, this is the confines. This is what you tap into, your experience of the past, of when you were living your caterpillar ways, right? Most of the emperor's people are caterpillars And so it is of value to retain your experience as a caterpillar. I don't know. It's hierarchy is hard. It's tricky, right? But it is everywhere, right? In all that we do. When we start something new versus when we've been doing it for a long period of time. This is how hierarchy works, right? Because the longer that you have been doing it, the more experience that you have, the more wisdom you have, the more hands-on, real-time problem solving and maneuvering is required. And so this is also what makes you a wise leader, because you've been there and done it. You've been there and you done it. Okay, this is what makes you wise. It's also a nod, because this one's a nod is, but it's a nod to where you've come from. Never forget where you've come from, but you don't need to hold on to the details of the old story. Just take the wisdom from it, right? This helps to enlighten us. Think about that, right? We've got, say, the whole experience, all the details, all the nuances, all the this was said and then this was said and this was done and then this was done, and that kind of parts of the story is what we need to let go of, because those parts weigh us down. It's too big of a past attachment. But if out of this whole thing you are able to take the wisdom, right? Like every individual moment that you were stabbed in the back, left behind, betrayed, whatever the case may be, tossed to the curb, right? You don't necessarily need to hold on to the details of each one of those stories, but what you learned from those experiences is to value your heart, right? To be mindful of where it goes, how you share it, right? Yes. This way we release ourselves, but also empower. It's like a recognition. This is why there's all that inheritance. It's like mining for the gold, right? What is this experience teaching me? What's the lesson? What's the thread? What's the little bit that I can pull from the whole so that I can release the whole and take the part that is going to best serve my future, right? The details of the past aren't necessarily going to serve your future. It's going to keep you locked in to the past, but maintaining that thread of wisdom from the past, this is golden. This helps to build your new. Suddenly it was like the butterfly was a tapestry, right? And you're stuck in your caterpillar phase until you have collected enough threads of your past, which require you letting go of a lot. This all happens in the cocoon stage, right? The restructuring. But you're going in there and you're sewing all your little threads together and you're like, I made myself wings, right? Okay. Where's this leading? All this wisdom to divine justice in your ships coming in. Okay. To the rebalancing, to the comeuppance, to your payback, right? To your balance. This is the thing. You know, if we just put to the side the universe providing and we are trusting this external thing to magically create and produce external things for us, but this is about your self-empowerment. This is about you creating your own world, your own environment. This part comes from ownership and taking responsibility for yourself, for your world, becoming the emperor of your empire, right? Through the wisdom gained, you are now able to see when someone isn't capable of holding your heart and you're not giving your heart to those people, right? And so you are also able to recognize those who will value your heart, and those are the ones that you share it with, right? And so this is part of how we contribute and co-create through our tending and our healing processes, because the universe responds to you. Yes. You in verse. This is your frequency. You in your frequency. You are the universe. It's your verse that you're singing. You can change your tune and be harmonized with by your external. Something like that. Okay. Okay, anybody else want to come out? This one. Sparks of inspiration. Okay, yes, you are moving. You are burning away the old to leave the good stuff. What did I see? It's like whatever the package looks like, right? Lighting it on fire. Because we can keep these boxes. This was this relationship. This was this instance. This was this memory, right? And this baggage starts to pack up and get dusty and all that kind of stuff. It's like burning it, right? Taking it and being like, okay, throwing some gas on it, lighten it. It burns up. And what is left is the little gem of wisdom. You take that and you dust up your ashes and put it into the soil, and now it is fertilizer, right? Okay. Who wants to come out here today? Let's talk about archetypes. Let's get an archetype. That was too many. They were all face down. But this one flipped over. It's a 33. I am the mountain. Okay, 33. The ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us towards its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, saddhas, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enlighten us to rise to new heights and peak experience, yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the purist and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, the minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. Beautiful confirmation of this mining, right? And the humility. This is an honest recognition of how far you've come, of the work that you've done, of the mining that you have done, the gems you have collected, right? The wisdom you have retained, the experiences you have endured. And this check-in to make sure that you are in peace, right? And not in conflict. Okay. When light, grounded in the eternal, steadfast and uplifting, when dark, ominous, daunting, isolation, and frigid. Research mountains. Find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The Pilgrim. For a while, where is it? Is there a dot in there? Oh, yes. And stare at it for a while. Period. Where is it? Question mark. The pilgrim may be awakening in you, and the summit calls. Contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion. You are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere. Okay. Okay, mountain. Should we get a couple animal oracles? I am the mountain. What's that song? I am the rainstorm. I am the ocean. I am the way home. I'll post it as a song link for Spotify if you're on Spotify. Somewhere on one of my playlists. I think it's called I Am the Mountain. Okay. Oh, I see you. Okay. Oh, and another one. And the lamb. The unicorn, the lamb, the stingray, and the hummingbird. Beautiful. And it's Rufus. Speaking of red on the throat, right? Okay. Wow. Okay, we got magical, we've got earth, we got sky, and we've got water. Okay. What am I getting? I'm looking for the stingray. Okay, developing confidence, sense of self, and spine. This is part of this card, right? The page, the moving forward, speaking your truth. This is the getting your emperor legs on, right? The emperor getting his new groove on. Okay. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar ways and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from friends and family make the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it is inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. This is about your soul purpose calling you forward, and it requires you to tear down the old ways so that the new can be born. Okay. Then we've got the hummingbird, positive, enthusiastic. Ugh, an itchy nose. Is this one of my guides? We're on knows about something. Always gets right in there. No matter how much I itch it, it's like when I heard that there's some guides that will tickle your nose. I came across a couple other readers who they get that too, and they're just like, it's one of my guides. So what I picture is this little tiny, like, have you ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something like that, where they're just like teeny, tiny, and it's got this tiny, like probably a cat hair because there's enough of those flying around, and they're just like tickling the tip of my nose. Okay. When in balance, nope, here we go. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather the nectar, and it returns to those sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. There's your wisdom, right? Through experience. You experienced a meadow of gorgeousness, and now you have the wisdom to keep coming back to that place because it always delivers, something like that. Okay. The sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, and every moment worth savoring. Beautiful. When in balance, smart, curious, loves to learn. Okay, this is part of your humility and openness to learn. You're not, I am the king of the castle and you're the dirty rascal, right? It's not about, I know everything. I've been there. I've done that. I mean, a little bit, you've been there and you've done that, but also you recognize through your experience, through your wisdom, that everybody's experience is different. Everybody has a different perspective to add to the table, and multiple perspectives further clarify. So it would do the emperor a disservice to not be open to the experiences and perspectives of his people, right? When out of balance, pushy, insistent, and sharp, and to bring into balance, take a class, okay? Keep that sweet elixir hunting active. What was it? Who was it? One of those guys back in the day said that the more that they learned, that there was so much more to learn. I'm not quoting, okay? Something like that. Okay, and then we've got the lamb. I saw it. Where my lamb at? Where my lamb at? Where's my llama at? Where my llama at? Okay, sorry. Peaceful, prophetic, and patient is the lamb sauce. The lamb is the bearer of an important message. Its contents can only be heard when a deep level of quiet has been established. And I wanted to say Solace, okay? Solace. Also, if you look, this person here, how they are engaging in solace is by a beautiful pond, right? By wildflowers in the sunshine, and they are being seen and I don't know, infused, empowered by the unseen realms. It's like you create the stillness for communication. This is what's been coming up for us, right? Our connection, our communication with spirit involves a stillness, a mindfulness, a connectedness, an openness, right? All through the lamb's message may channel, though, okay. Lamb energy is the honest guidance you hear from an old friend, a young child, or sometimes a surprising stranger. Though the lamb's message may channel through another person, the wisdom resonates within you. Okay, this is how you are moving through the life now, is by sinking into your heart space and feeling what is true. We can no longer trust our eyes and our ears, right? Especially with all the AI and all this kind of stuff. It's like, what's real and what's not real? And this is about tapping in, going within, and accessing the truth within your heart, right? This is that moving forward and wielding. It's a new way of engaging in life, right? In receiving information through the heart space, through the stillness. Approach this gentle creature with utmost patience and reverence. Truth is a gift. Sit still, listen, and receive. Beautiful. When in balance, knowingness, inner peace. When out of balance, quiet, timid, and concerned. And to bring into balance, meditation and listening. Okay, and it's also on 77, page 77, which we've got 117 as our numbers. What do you think this is here, Missy? Okay, and the unicorn. Oh, come on. Come on, nose itch. You're like, hee hee hee. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Get out of there. Okay. Reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it is real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago. The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for the answers. It is no surprise the subtle essence of the unicorn card resides at the third eye, the exact place from which the unicorn's horn extends. This center is called the Ajna chakra, or command center. The ancient yogis believed it to be responsible for our intellect, intuition, and deepest wisdom. They say our two eyes see the past and present, while this third eye peers into the future. Gorgeous. Hey, what do you think this is? Kitty card close. Okay, kitty wisdom. Too many. Which one's gonna come out? That one. Meditation. Okay. Meet Chetany. One day, after a particularly deep meditation, he began to radiate and float. He loves to simultaneously be fully present in his body and his spirit. By simply closing his eyes and observing his breath, he is able to feel what is truly going on within himself. Each subtle sensation becomes vivid with its own unique texture and energy. His mind is like a wide open sky, and his thoughts are like clouds passing by. He watches them arise and dissipate without judgment. Practice with Chetany and watch your awareness brighten until life itself becomes a moving meditation. Like doing your dishes, right? Turning in your mundane tasks into opportunities for ritual and meditation. Efficiency, right? I ain't got time to meditate, but we gotta do the dishes. So let's combine them and boom, bada bing, we're getting stuff done. Dishes and meditation. Check, check, right? Okay. So this is the cutie patudiousness here. Take time for self-care, she says. Get in behind the ear, okay? Plunk yourself in the middle of all things to get the love you require. Okay, be gorgeous, be fluffy, be cute, just like members. Okay, love and appreciate you, and hope to see you next time. Bye for now. Say bye. Cute. Okay. Okay, Missy. Bye.